Hi guys, during my second episode of TechCited, I mentioned a slider that's very interesting as it can auto pan. Now I tried my luck and wrote into a company in hopes of reviewing their slider, and they sent me a copy. So here it is, the Vectorgear Motorized slider. In this video, we're gonna unbox and see what we get in this slider and see what it can do for a price tag of 200 USD. So if you're interested, you want to keep on watching. As this will also be a detailed review, there'll be timestamps down in the description below and on the timeline for your easy navigation. If not, let's unbox this and see what we get in its retail package. So let's open it up. So as you can see, it comes in this very lovely little velvet pouch. Okay, let's move the box out of the way. Okay, the bag itself, it has nothing much, as it has this ability to be able to hook it as a bag, but let's see where's the strap. It's definitely not inside its box itself. And here is the slider itself. As you can see, I have not touched it or opened it, so all the stickers are still here. Let's see what we get here. This is the menu, a quick start menu guide, and the back is in Mandarin. Okay, here's the slider itself, and you have all these instructions on how to use it. So here you can see that the slider and all its components. Let's take a closer look. And you can see the surface is actually really well built, I mean in terms of the materials. And you have the feet at the side. Let's turn to the back. And you can see that the back and has all its parts all hidden well. Alright, so this is the slider itself. Let's see what we get in the back. Okay, here we have the manual itself. Let's see if this is too boring or long for you to read. Oh, it's actually quite simple, quite straightforward. And here should be the strap itself. Yeah, here we have the strap. So guys, as mentioned just now, so this is the strap and we can just put it over here and here. Alright, it gives a very convenient package and you can just bring the slider around. Now I really love this simple and thoughtful design. Alright, so up close the back itself, you have pockets. You have these two pockets which you can put items inside here. Oh, there's USB cable. I really like the material on this kind of USB cable as it's really tough. You can see this is not like the usual factory made USB cables which can easily spoil. So I really like this. Alright, so let's zoom out. And yeah, here is all you get with the retail package. The bag, the slider, the menus, the strap, and the USB cables. So now that you guys know what comes with the slider itself, let's go a bit more details on the slider and the materials and in terms of how to on and operate it. So most importantly is the legs. Now how do we open the legs? Okay, the legs you can see at the side here. So how do we... Oh, I found out how to do it. So basically you have to open this up here. Okay, so you have to press this switch over here and you can rotate it, open it, and just lock it. Same for this other leg here. And let's do it for the other two. Yay! So here you have the slider and it's able to sit by itself. Now, interestingly, if you look at the back over here, there's actually a 1/4" screw mount here and these two little things here. Now, if we flip it forward, you also can see that there's a barbell leveler over here. And as we move up, you can see that the material on the slider itself has this rubber base, which is really good if I have DSLRs as it won't slip out. Before I forget, the slider also comes with a ball head. So here is the ball head. Alright, let's move the slider at the side. Okay, it's quite a simple ball head, you can see, from Vectorgear. You can see up close, yes, you're able to put this over here. Okay, you apparently have this quick release. Oh, it's not a quick release, it's actually for your mobile phone. You can see and extend, you can actually put your mobile phone over here. Alright, now we are back. I'm sorry, you guys probably know that my A6400 does not have very good battery life. But either way, let's head on back to talk about this little ball head. So you can see up close, this ball head, okay, is from Vectorgear and it has very good material. At the side, there's this thing to be able to secure the ball head. And as mentioned just now, there's this little contraption here which opens up to be able to help you put your phone. Okay, just press it, push it back. Alright, so now that you guys have a closer look at the ball head and the slider itself, I'll come back in a few days time with hopefully some excellent results with what this tool thing can do. Set my RAM to about 100% and the duration about 9 or 10 seconds and with the loop on. And let's see how it works. And as you can see, it has gently moved from the right to the left side and now it'll loop back and forth. On my phone, you will be able to see the timer which counts down from 10 seconds all the way to 1 second. And it recycles and goes back and forth. So this is really useful if you want to just put it on an auto setting and just leave it so that you get multiple footages. Alright, let's stop it at the moment. Now after doing this motion, you want to add these pen settings. How do you do it? As you can see, this one is more of a manual setting that you have to do. There are two knobs on the side of this slider, as you can see over here. And you can adjust it. So let's say I can push it more or push it less. And you can see my camera just tilting and moving. So the more that I put towards the pen, meaning that I push it at extremes, the more pen it will have. But of course, do not expect it to go 180 degrees as you really can't, but just probably offer you to about 60 to 90, which in my opinion is actually good enough. Let's move on to our pros. Number one is its good materials. 90% of this slider is actually made out of this very strong and sturdy metal, which really feels very high quality. Now, you might be wondering where's the last 10%? It lies in the legs. As you can see the legs over here, it actually feels very plasticky. And once we try to click it, you can hear a very plasticky click because the legs are made of plastic rather than a metallic feel comparing with the body of it. But overall, this really feels like a tank and definitely be able to take some hits without breaking down. Number two is the ball head design. Now unbeknownst to you, this might look just like a normal ball head, but once you press this and open it up, you can actually have a phone mount over here. Now let's try to mount up my Samsung S10, which is a more larger phone than regular phones. Now as you can see, the phone just mounts perfectly onto here. And now I have a two camera setup, my mobile phone and my camera, which is really quite amazing if actually you want two cameras to film at the same time. Once again, it's just as easy as a press and click to be able to get this whole thing up. And if you want to have it close, all you have to do is just to press it again and press it down, and you can hear this very satisfying click. The next pro should come as no surprise. It's actually its auto panning or mechanical pan function. There are two knobs at the side of this slider, one here and one over here, and you can adjust the different pan levels accordingly. With this, you can slowly introduce a character or a scene into your footage, slowly bringing them in, be it a landscape or a subject, into frame. You can also give a subject perspective by going around it from its left to the right side, just as you can see from this figurine. With brands like Chrome which need to buy a separate device to be able to achieve this panning function, I think it's really neat that this slider has this. But just as I mentioned, the pan does have its limitation. Do not expect it to go all the way to 180 degrees, but if let's say you are planning to go about 70 to about 90, I think it will be just fine. If you need anything more, definitely you'll need a more specialized device for this. So to a certain extent, it doesn't really cannibalize what Chrome is doing, but this is just a small and nice touch to a slider. Next is its battery life. Inside this slider, there's a 2550 mAh power battery, which can go up to about 4 hours of use. Now where can you find the indication of this battery? You can click over the power button and then these lights will light up. In my personal use, I've used this slider for more than an hour, but it hasn't even reduced 1 unit of battery over here, which is really neat if I plan to bring out this for the whole day without charging it. Our last pro is its sling bag. Now with the slider, it comes with this sling bag. Okay, let's move over here. The slider is rather big. Alright, it comes with this sling bag, which can put the slider and the ball head and even the camera inside this. It not only has sufficient padding and looks nice, but it is also very comfortable and nice to carry. There are also inner pockets over here, 2 of them, to be able to put smaller accessories such as memory cards or little wires which you plan to carry around. The 2 mesh pockets that are inside definitely keeps your items safe and separate from all your bigger items such as a slider which might have sharp edges. Now that we have covered the pros, if you guys like this video so far, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. It certainly shows YouTube that you enjoy my content and push it to more other people who are looking out for content such as this and recommend it in its algorithm. Alright, let's move on to the cons. Now the first con is that it needs an app to function. As you guys might already know, I own the Smarter Slider Mini, which can operate without using any mobile application, which is really great. Now, if I ever need to use my mobile and the slider at the same time, I won't be able to do that with the Vectorgear as you'll need a mobile phone for it to operate. So in this case, I'll definitely need another mobile phone to get all these things to work, which I feel is a huge con. Number 2 is the disconnection. As the connection from your mobile and the slider itself works on Bluetooth, you're limited in its range. But I did not expect it to be this short. I was easily disconnected just 5 feet away from the slider itself. As you can see, I started being connected to the slider, but once I move away, the app disconnects from the slider, which only meant that I must press start before moving away quickly to my spot if I'm ever the subject. I really hope that Vectorgear can address this issue in its slider with a firmware update. Number 3 is its size. Now as you can see, the slider itself is actually quite a huge size. I even have to move backwards to be able to show you guys how big this really is. Now comparing with my Smarter Slider Mini, you can see it's actually 30% lesser. Now let's just measure it to get a better understanding of the size of the slider. Here I have my measuring tape. Let's open it up. So as you can see, it's about 40 cm or about 15.5 inches. Whereas my Smarter Slider Mini, it's only about 25 cm or about 10 inches. It could really be a struggle as my go-to carry is actually this Sling 8 Lite, which can easily fit in my Smarter Slider Mini. So bringing my Vectorgear slider into this bag is definitely not possible. But with the bag that is provided, it does address the issue halfway. So I'll have to give Vectorgear props for that. With the pros and cons out of the way, let's talk about our favorite topic, which is price. At this very moment, Vectorgear says its price will be about 200 USD, which is really affordable. I got my Smarter Slider Mini also on a crowdfunding campaign for about 300 USD. And for 200, it's really cheaper than any other lens that you can find out there, even cheaper than the kit lens for my full frame camera. With a price this low, you're actually getting a huge bang for your buck, considering that Chrome slider are 3 times more expensive than the price of one of these. So if you ever want to get a slider, now is the perfect time. Links to the campaign will be down in the description below, so do check it out. And as usual, if it ever goes on Amazon, I'll definitely update my links in the description. So with the pros and the cons out of the way, let's conclude. So is this slider a good buy? I'll say a definite yes. The Vector Air slider is definitely one of a kind. It is not only well built, it has the ability to pan inherently without a separate device. The ball head also makes things convenient if you enjoy creating content with its hidden phone mount. Even though it is a medium-sized slider, the battery is more than decent with hours of usage. It is also easy to bring around with its included slider bag. If you can look beyond the annoyance of using an application for it to work and its limited 5 feet connectivity, the Vectorgear Air can really give you easy and unique footage for content creation with its extremely wallet-friendly 200 USD price tag. If you have enjoyed this video, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I also like to thank Vectorgear for first of all sending me their slider for the review. Now I'm in no way paid by them, so all the opinions on this video that I've mentioned are mine. If you can't wait for my next upload, do check out my gear playlist over here, which I cover various gears for your photography journey. If not, I'll see you guys in the next video.
My head in the clouds, I don't know where we go. I feel like it's changed love. I'm losing my mind, feeling that kind of love. I feel like a deep hole. You give me something that I can't give you here. Tell me what you're thinking, I need to know you're feeling. If you crush on me, you need to know my story. But don't get too close to me, cause I need my fantasy. Here I am, falling down, crashing down, and I feel like I don't need